Welcome back to episode 50 of the Xbox North podcast. This week we celebrate our 50th episode. We discussed the last half of May's GamePass games. And also the developers of Genshin Impact has announced a new game, and hopefully it will be coming to Xbox. And we also discuss the delay of the generation, all this and much more. But thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the show. And thank you so much for watching. I can't believe we're at 50 episodes already. But Dan, how are you doing this week? How's everything going?
Been doing pretty good. Yeah, just been, playing a few games here and there. I've been playing some Elden Ring. I'm trying to stay off Elden Ring for a little bit just to give myself a break from it. Played a little bit of DayZ, not for super long or anything, but tried that out. And then I've been getting into this new game, Generation Zero.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting little game so far. It's cool. I think the genre it was displaying when I was going to download it was like a horror survival. Mm-hmm. So it's very much like it's kind of like open world survival. It feels like Back 4 Blood, but it's like open world, like
actual
totally
open world.
Yeah, and apparently you can have up to a 4-player co-op, and it seems like it's made in Sweden. Like it says kind of right off the bat that like you're in Sweden and everything, and all the language seems to be in Swedish, and they're just translating it in English for you.
Yeah,
but it's really cool. And you can just
Zero.
Yeah, you can roll around. You like find weapons and stuff. You can put attachments on them and everything, and just you're going through and fighting robots instead of zombies, basically.
I can dig
that. Little mech. It's like the mech.
How does
dog
the shooting
things.
feel? Like the shooting feel?
It's actually really good. I am surprised at how much I like it. Like you can get bikes in the game too. At least like that's what I've gotten so far, and like it's pretty decent for like riding around on the bike. Like it's not my favorite controls, but like it's realistic enough and everything.
Nice. I think I'll give it a try with you for sure. I always want to try new things out. And Elden Ring is just incredibly long. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start. I think you're pretty close to the end. Like you're up in the snowy mountains where the giants are. So I think you have a couple more bosses, and that's pretty much it for you.
Yep.
So you can
more big guys anyways. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to take it a little slow. There's still a few things I want to do, and I was hoping to give you some time to catch up and everything because I've been plowing ahead a little bit.
Yeah, I can't come and help you. I'm trying to figure out more faith builds. I'm building up my faith, trying to get this one spell that I have that I can use. It's a super powerful spell. It like shoots all those tracking stars at you. So I want to get that. You need like 50 faith though.
It's so like Stars of Ruin or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Actually, no, that's sorcery. You're talking about the faith, like
faith one. Yeah. Where it's like holy magic. I look at it looks like. I think that's really cool. Holy and the death magic is like my favorite. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But that game is so cool. I love that game so much. It's just so complex. Just exploring. It just keeps on pushing you forward and forward and forward and forward. And you're just like, oh my God, I need to stop. Like, I just need to put the controller down and stop. So, but Dan, how do you feel about 50 episodes now that we are almost a year? I think we're a year the first week of June. So we are very close to a year, but
because I think there was 1 or 2 episodes we missed. Otherwise it'd be 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah. There was a couple weeks we missed here and there, but stuff happens, life happens, recordings don't get recorded.
Yeah.
Growing.
It's been fun. It's been like an experience to learn all this stuff and meet all those cool people that we talked to like along the way so far. And like I think so far my favorite's been talking to Boomstick and everything, just because it was cool to see he's like a retired police officer and everything, and kind of see his
Yeah.
experience on stuff, and it was cool.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. How have you been liking it?
It's been interesting. It's like I've always said, it's always been something I've wanted to do. I've always talked so much games, so it gives us a good reason to talk games and get together every week. But I love it. I don't care about views or subscribers. Well, I care about the subscribers and the listeners and stuff, but I don't care how many we have. It's more so like the joy of actually talking about games, and something I've been passionate about for a long time. I've always loved Xbox, especially, and console gaming, and I feel like I have I play all sorts of kind of games, so I just really wanted to kind of put that out there, because I listen to so many podcasts here and there, and I felt like I could actually contribute to that. And I always hear about just do it, right? Just go out and just do the thing. So we did the thing, and I've been loving it. And especially, meeting people, Boom, Wandering Dutch, Tony from the Plume Network, just like so many people we've had on, Ham Solo, and I'm sure many more in the future. And there's some people I interact with on Twitter that I want to get on. And just the people who come on and listen every week. Like I can't believe, even when like we get into the double digits, or some of our videos have gone into the triple digits. I can't. It blows my mind. Like anyone would even just sit down and listen to us every week. But
yep.
I enjoy doing it. So yeah,
Thank you guys for sticking around. Yeah,
exactly, right. And I look forward to growing the podcast in the future. Starting to do it live maybe in the future. That'd be really cool.
Yep.
Sorry, my mouth's getting all dry.
Yeah, no worries. Me too. I think it's a dry day.
It is, right? God, it's getting hot in Toronto, but it was really cool today. So I was very grateful for that.
Yeah, last few days were crazy, and it's finally cooled down a bit.
What about you? Where would you kind of like to see the podcast go?
I mean, it's awesome. Like I can't believe we've grown as much as we have, and I'm excited to see us keep growing, and have more guests and talk about more games and everything. And
yeah,
I love it. It's fun,
and I think doing it live will be fun, because I know some people who'll jump in and try at least jump in every week, and maybe we can take some questions, and like I'm always down to answer some weird questions. So, but I'm just reflecting on 50 episodes. Like, think about that. We have over 2 days worth of us talking. Will our kids ever want to, in the future, like, I don't expect them to listen to everything, but like go back and just see us as like young dads.
Suspect they'll check it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes, where if they want to kind of know us a little bit, and by a week basis, they could even just check out the first 10, 20 minutes of the show. Yep. But it's kind of like a little archive for them. So I find that quite interesting, that they can go back and potentially listen to all of our banter and whatnot. And like in 2 weeks, we're going to be having Tony back on. So we're going to have somebody returning to our show, which is kind of interesting. I think that's cool. Predicting what Microsoft will potentially, and Bethesda will potentially show us, and hopefully release something this year. But we'll talk later on about that. But I just, wanted to kind of, I thought episode 50, it's one of those milestone episodes, just like 100. And I think we started celebrating the hundreds after that. You know, we don't do 150 or anything, but maybe like
Yeah.
we'll do 100 and then 200, and
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, just keep on going and going.
It's you
And
faster
see
than you
where,
think. Yeah.
yeah, and see where gaming takes us, right? We'll eventually be doing it in the metaverse right next to each other, right? So
Yep.
wouldn't that be weird? Like in
It
the
would be
future,
weird.
if it like evolves into something like that because it's so convenient and so well done, I think
Yep.
that'd be so cool.
I can see it happening. They're already getting like this face scan
Oh,
technology
yeah.
working well. Like,
Well, I hear the next Quest will have full mouth and eye tracking. So it will actually like detect how you are expressing yourself. So that will go a long way. And I think there'll be full body
great.
tracking as well with it. Because I was saying to Carly, how would they know, like if we're all in a virtual space together, and so we're all in their horizon space, and how would you know another person has the new Oculus helmet? It's, oh, your face, it's so emotive, or oh, you can move your whole body. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't do that. I gotta go buy the new headset then. That's how you sell people. They're like, oh, I want full body tracking. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's just like back in the day when the Index came out with like the full finger control and everything, and now they're all getting it better and better. So pretty soon, yeah, it's just going to be crazy full body tracking, full motion. I've even seen they just recently were experimenting with a whole mouth feel thing, so you can feel like if something's like in your mouth or whatever, and there's just a bunch of little air triggers. I'm not sure that's
on your lips or something.
Yeah, it's like blowing little bits of air, I think. Like, so it just like it'll feel like a constant pressure to make it feel like there's something there. Like it's just pushing on your lips a little bit, so like you could feel like a cigarette touching your lips, or eating like a piece of fruit or something. You won't be able to taste it or anything, but
Every article had the title was "You can kiss and feel in the metaverse." So it was funny. I heard the Sony headset will have like haptics in the headset itself, and I think that's a good idea. A lot of people on VR chat apparently like pat your head, so
that'd be funny.
So, but that's getting down into a different topic right there, the VR topic. Maybe we should just say Xbox/VR podcast, because we're pretty into VR. Even though I don't play VR much, it's more so I hear it from my wife. So it's like I'm like just observing it from a distance, but I find it very interesting.
We should try out a couple of games, like Arizona Sunshine or something.
Yeah, I would be totally down to try some games. But talking about games, let's kind of get into this week's topic. So the last half of May's Game Pass games were announced, and we got another weak list. It seems. I don't know. The last half of May is another lackluster list, in my opinion. There's some interesting titles in there, but I feel like the last 2 months have just been not really delivering. I feel like more so delivering on the sports front with like MLB The Show and NHL and all that. And some great indie titles, no doubt, but no like Guardians of the Galaxy or like last year's Outriders or anything like that. But then again, you know, we've had a ton of delays and we were supposed to get Stalker, and
I feel like some of it's probably even like we've been a little spoiled almost, and like just to maintain like the price point that they've got for everybody, like you can't be releasing like bangers every single month and every single like 2 weeks or whatever, because like it's just unreasonable like price wise, like because they got to pay all these people, and like if it's a AAA game, they're paying AAA money for it and everything. So eventually either our Game Pass is going up a lot, or they got to spread it out a little more, I guess.
Well, let's kind of go over these titles on here in the list. So we got on May 17th, Her Story on PC. A lot of PC-only titles, actually. We got Jurassic World Evolution 2, which was a surprise day one release. Bigger game. That is a bigger game, but not kind of my style of game, personally. We got Little Witch in the Woods under game preview, which is actually a pretty interesting game. My wife's been really enjoying it. Think,
my wife's trying it right now.
Yeah, I think like a kind of a like Stardew, in the vein of Stardew Valley, but you're a witch.
Like a little witch.
Mind you, it is broken. It is completely broken on Xbox One S. I've tested it. It's so strange. On Xbox One S, it's like the frame rate is broken or something. She moves at her, like when you're normally moving the joystick, she moves at like a snail's pace.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly slow.
I was looking it up online too and everything, and they were mentioning that there was a lot of complaints about her movement. So in one of the updates, they increased the speed of her movement, but I don't know if that was for a PC update or if it was for a console update.
No, this was broken actually. So like I because we were testing both versions, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One S and the cloud. And we even switched controllers. And her movement speed is like night and day between the two consoles. It was an actual glitch. Yeah, and it's still broken.
Okay.
I tested it this morning. So it's actually broken on the One S.
Okay.
Like 100%.
That'll definitely explain it, because that is painfully slow.
It is outrageously slow. And if you play it on your Series X, you'll be like, oh, it's just like a normal game. So it's funny because I tweeted at the developer, I'm like, this movement speed of your character is kind of killing your game. And then I'm like, and then we switch the console and I go like, okay, it's not. So I was like, okay, I will see if this is a glitch and I will delete my tweet if not. And yeah, I have 2 videos showing the actual difference between the two. And it is, I'll send you the video. It's like night and day. It's like watching them walk through like quicksand.
She was showing me too. Like she's like, and this is sprinting. I was like, is there even like a change in the movement? Like,
yeah, no. Is she playing on the One S, right?
Yeah.
So tell her she's playing a completely broken version. Yeah. She'll have to play it on PC or streaming it, but
cloud or something. Yeah.
So you know what? If you have a profile on the console and they can use your installed games, but they won't allow them to cloud stream. So Carly can't even cloud stream the game upstairs. I'm like, your family pass needs to come like yesterday. Yeah. Like the fact that this game is broken on one console, but she can literally access a version that works on cloud streaming on that console. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
So they need to fix that. So getting past Little Witch of the Woods, great game. Broken on 1S. Skate is coming. So I hate this. When they add a game that's already on there and they're like, it's for the cloud. Like it's a release. It's, in my opinion, when it just comes to cloud, it shouldn't take up a slot for the month, right? Like, I get it. There are just cloud users.
You could even have like a little cloud section or something.
Like, how is there just cloud users out there? You're paying $20 a month just to play on the cloud? That's crazy, in my opinion. So the fact that it takes up a slot is outrageous. And what's this last one for May 17th? How do you say that? I don't know. Rangi Generation Special Edition, Cloud Console, PC. And then we got on May 19th, Farming Simulator 22. So people do love that game still.
It's apparently really good.
It's not a flashy title. Title. Vampire Survive, PC only. Then on the 24th, we got Floppy Nights, Cloud Console, PC.
Might check that out and see if it's good for the kids or something.
Yeah, good kids game.
Looks like a good kids game.
And also a PC-only title. This looks kind of interesting. So one of the only interesting titles in this list that I would actually look forward to playing is Hard Space Shipbreaker, but it's only on PC. So that's great for the PC users, but I hate when it's not on both. May 26th, we got Sniper Elite 5 console PC. That's a day one release.
It's a pretty good game and everything. So.
Well, they're on their 5th one, so they've refined the series quite a bit. So I will definitely give that one a shot for sure. No pun intended, but
pun intended.
Pun intended. You know I fucking did it. And on May 27th, and this game's already on console, Cricket 22. Cricket's huge, though.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's been a great
popular in Canada, but it's a huge sport.
Oh, it's popular in Canada. What are you talking about? I have people playing cricket down the street for me every week. It's huge. Like,
well, I just mean, like, it might not be, like, the most, like, the biggest sport in Canada, but I know it's huge overseas and everything, especially.
There's power lines that go down the street, and there's huge grass fields, like, all along them, and there's a bunch of, like, cricket fields along them. It's pretty cool. So we go check out the cricket game sometimes. And also the last game is Pac-Man Museum Plus.
Nice.
So some good titles on there, but nothing that really wows you. I was hoping, like, man, what if they got, like, Dying Light 2 or something like that, you know? Because I feel like Dying Light 2 didn't set the world on fire. That is just prime for a Game Pass release. Yeah. So, and, you know, Sony just announced their titles for their PlayStation Plus kind of tiered system. There's some great titles on there, and there's some titles that I'm surprised are already on there, like Returnal. So, like, if you bought a PlayStation 5, I would totally just get that service and be like, oh, I have a ton of games right off the bat. So, man, you gotta love competition. It just makes everything better, because, like, now I could actually maybe consider about maybe buying the PlayStation 5 on my bonus next year or something like that, just to try some of these great Sony titles that I know will at least eventually be on the service, maybe after 6 months or a year.
I've been itching to play Spider-Man still, so.
Hey, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is on the service.
Yep.
So PlayStation 5, see, like, when it comes down to that, where you're just like, okay, I'm not spending, like, you can spend PlayStation actually likes to buy the year. So you can spend like $140 for the year, and you're just like, okay, I will have my PlayStation as my Weeb console, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, just the last 2 months has just not been great for me. But, you know, thank God for Elden Ring, because that is
it's really filling in those gaps.
Yeah, it's really filling in a gap right now. And thank God that game is just so long. Like, I can't, and like the further you get, you're just like, how detailed is this world? Like, they've put so much thought into every little corner of this map. It's so, and it feels like there's so much story to every little corner of the map too.
Yeah.
I love it.
It just keeps getting bigger. Like, it just feels like a bigger and bigger game as you're going through it. Like, I didn't think it would be this big. It is a pretty huge map for what it is. And there's just so much packed into the size of the map even too, that even though it's not like a super huge map, it's like there's so much in it. It's insane amounts of content.
Like, I found like one, but it's so layered. So it's just like, it's like a multi-layered sandwich in some areas. Right. It's like, how deep does some places get? Have you gone to the, like,
small too? It's only 50 gigs.
Yeah. Have you gone to the like the door? Like, it's like really deep in some cave, and it's made out of like flesh.
Yeah, in the city.
Have you opened that door? Do you know how to open it?
I know how to open the door, but I have not opened it yet.
It gives you the bad ending.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, because I saw the door and I was like, how do you open this door? And it's like, okay, it locks you into this one ending. I'm like, okay, I'm maybe not going to do that.
The frenzy flame. Actually, it doesn't lock you into. Well, it does lock you into the ending, but there's a way to get out of it.
Like it like soft locks you in because there's one way to get out of it, but it's kind of complicated too. So
yeah, it's very.
You got to go through stuff.
And you gotta like stab yourself with a needle and only in a certain spot in the game.
I even came across a guy who's like, "You should totally do this because it's a nicer way to do it. Like it's just like a much like you're gonna want to do it because it's the right thing to do." And then he just gets like super evil at the end, and I'm just like, no, that like the end really killed it for you because he just like starts laughing maniacally.
There's a move. I don't know if it was somebody's mod or something, but it must have been a mod. There was a move where you like grab someone's head. I saw at the end. It's like, oh,
I don't
you're
think it is a mod. I think that's one of the spells.
Really? Okay. There's a spell where you can grab their head and just like burn the inside of their head.
You're just like blowing like madness fire or something like down their throat.
Yeah. Oh, they did it. I watched this one clip where they did it at like a really cool time. And he's just like, oh, we knew you were going to go to the Elden throne. And he just grabs the guy and just burns his head out and throws him onto the ground. I was like, oh, that's so fucking epic. The game gets so anime sometimes, man. There's some clips I've seen where it's just like, how is this people playing? It looks so cool. They're like parrying, or like the dragons coming in from like the sky, and he pulls his sword out and just like, oh, such a cool.
I even saw someone like edit it at on one of their clips because it's like I think it's the final boss fight or something. But like it was like the final boss and him like jumped up at the same time and went to go hit each other, and he just cuts it off and it goes to credits. Like it's like the opening credits. It looks exactly like an anime. It's ridiculous.
Some people are just so amazing at that game, and it looks awesome. Speaking of awesome Japanese games, and I'm so happy we have Elden Ring on Xbox. That is a huge deal. I also want to talk about... So I just want to talk about this game. It's called Zenless Zone Zero, or ZZZ, or ZZZ.
Depending on
for a little bit, because I feel like this is a crucial game to come out on the Xbox platform. This is a game from the creators of the massively popular Genshin Impact. Something that didn't release on Xbox and released on PlayStation, and in my opinion was a huge loss for the platform itself, as it is a continually growing game, free to play. Actually, it's pretty cool. It's like, think an open world like Elden Ring, like Zelda Breath of the Wild, with really fast combat and tons of different characters you can play as, and a constantly expanding open world. And it's all done on mobile too, which is really cool.
Yep.
So they announced this new kind of, reminds me of almost like Scarlet Nexus meets, what is it, Guilty Gear, I think, that fighting game. It has a really kind of cool, almost like cyberpunk art style to it. Very, very anime. And the announcement trailer has almost 4 million views to it. So this is a game that clearly has hype behind it, and it's super anime, it's super Japanese, super just that kind of market. And this, I feel like we've won over the first-person shooter crowd. We've won that battle a long time ago. We have the best shooters on the console. We have some of the best like network stability and overall tools for that. Now we really got to just like fight for this more like anime, in my opinion, more like Eastern market.
Yeah, spread out new genres and...
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that like Genshin Impact, even the developer said, yeah, we would never make a Xbox version, is just Microsoft needs to throw money at these developers, because if PlayStation is the place where I can go and play all my great shooters, maybe minus Halo and stuff like that, but Halo is not having its greatest time right now, then they're always going to be just that little bit behind. So, well, I don't know. Did you watch the trailer for this? What did you think?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, no, it looks good. It's very fast-paced, very anime style, and it looks cool. I tried it.
I think, and I was just like, I wasn't even really thinking about talking about it, but when I heard it was from that company and just how many views are just on this video alone, like we're talking about almost 4 million views, this game people are excited for, and I think it looks really cool. There's a ton of different looking characters in it. The art style is really fun. The clothing they wear is super unique. There's a ton of different variety in characters. There's like wolf people, bear people too. So, and it's in this like really interesting kind of like cyberpunk world. And the music was really cool too. The music kind of reminded me of Jet Set Radio.
Nice.
So, and it kind of has that like kind of like attitude to it. So,
yeah.
And if it can be a next generation version of their like ever evolving world that they've learned from Genshin Impact, because that game just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. I almost feel like we should try it out on mobile.
I've been considering it because I just see it everywhere.
Exactly, right? And it just keeps on getting bigger. So these guys are a factory, man. They can pump out content. And I'm curious if this game is mobile. Like I feel like we'll have access to it. I think it will be a mobile game. Like it's so hard to ignore that market. And these phones are so powerful, man. Right?
At very least they'll put it on xCloud.
Possibly, yeah. Like they have a great opportunity to, I think Microsoft has a great opportunity to work with them. So, and I don't like the fact that, like I said, Genshin Impact didn't come to Xbox when it's on PlayStation 4. They need to go up to this developer and say, hey, please come on to our console. Like, and if it's free, which it most likely will be, like based off their track record. I
think more free goodies.
Yeah, exactly. I think this game needs to release on Xbox for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about it. It's such a weird name, Zenless Zone Zero.
Zone Zero. They like that alliteration in some of the names and everything.
Yeah,
I can't complain. It sounds good. Zenless Zone Zero.
There you go. Do you think? I think it will be free to play. I wonder if it'll be on PS4. Like, I wonder if they'll ignore.
Maybe this will be their Xbox game, and they'll have Genshin Impact over on PlayStation.
Well, Xbox selling well this generation, considering we have like no games coming out this year. So let's kind of get into our last topic, which is so funny because like we recorded the podcast last week, and then the next day they like drop like the biggest news, and I'm just like, oh great,
sweet, dang it,
thank you for that. I guess good news never comes early in the week, right? So, or I guess bad news never comes early in the week. So yeah, let's get into this one. So Microsoft has announced the delay of the generation. Starfield and Redfall, two of Microsoft's biggest AAA games to release in 2022, is being put to the first half of 2023, meaning there is no announced titles from Xbox Studios or Bethesda coming out this year. So that June showcase, they got to deliver. They really need to deliver, more so than any other year ever. especially the fact that they're on the high of their sales right now. Dan, how do you feel about this delay? Like,
I'm super disappointed because I'm really looking forward to Starfield and Redfall actually too. Like, I feel like Generation Zero might have been like a nice little holdover until I get something nice like Redfall, but I don't know.
cleanser.
Yeah, I guess we'll have some Gotham Knights later this year too and everything.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll fill in a little bit. But yeah, I was really disappointed to hear about Starfield and everything. But I mean, if it needs to happen, if they're like, maybe Starfield will come out with a few less glitches than like with Skyrim, where I'm shooting a deer in the neck and its head goes firing off into the sun.
Well, could they really afford having like another Cyberpunk on their hands, where the most anticipated game gets overshadowed? Like, even though it's a good game, it gets overshadowed by how just broken and
problems.
How many problems it's having. So
I'd rather see it come out whole.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm upset about the delay, but I understand it, and in the end, I want a better product out of it. But man, these companies need to stop announcing dates. Like, if you need to announce the date, in my opinion, like 4 months before it comes out, like, because I feel like in 4 months, you must know at that point, like,
is it good enough or not? Like 4 months.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like some of it too is, I guess they're like releasing content and everything, kind of seeing what piques people's interest, see if there's a lot of complaints about something they've shown or what have you there. It does give them some early feedback, but yeah, at the same time, it's like, maybe don't give the most definite date.
Yeah, and especially with the war in Ukraine, like they've just had the worst luck for delays on third-party fronts and now first-party fronts. Like, then again, we could be getting Forza Motorsport at the end of this year, but I've even heard rumblings that is getting probably pushed back to the year after. So it seems like 2023 is going to be a huge year. Like, I didn't really think Redfall was coming, to be honest. Like, we got an announcement trailer of Redfall, and it was a CGI announcement trailer. Like, I had no really expectations of it coming out this year. If it did, like late in the year, maybe December release, but they're like summer 2022. I could see Redfall getting pushed back probably the furthest. Honestly, I feel like they shouldn't even show Redfall in June at the June showcase. I feel like I don't know, man. I guess I got to get my thoughts together
to hold me over, but
I want to see something. They need to.
I think it's honestly the jump we've seen in technology and everything, and like how to utilize all this stuff. Like, they're still developing techniques on how to actually utilize all of this and utilize it properly, and they're going to continue to do that. So, but like with that big of a hardware leap from one console to the next, like that's why we're already starting to see the like separation. Like, they're canceling the Xbox One PS4 version of Gotham Knights and everything.
Yep.
It's like they gotta like settle somewhere, so they're starting to actually push for this new hardware because there's so much they can do with it, and it's so crazy. But if you're still trying to like hold back for some of the older consoles, then
considering how hard PlayStation 5 is to buy in store, at least one of these consoles are readily available. So it's not like if a developer decides to ignore the Xbox One and PS4, it's not like they're kind of putting a game out and like it's not going to be able to be purchased. But then, there's also xCloud and stuff. I'm curious if they'll talk about every game being able to use on xCloud. But man, 2022 is a barren year. Like, I've never seen, out of all the years I've been playing on Xbox and following Xbox, I've never seen a year like this. Have you ever seen a year like this?
Yeah, not really so much. I mean, I'm hoping, like, because we've got Game Pass now, it is a little different. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool indie games and stuff that have been coming out that I just haven't had the
Mhm.
time for because of Elden Ring and every other, like, big title that's been coming out. So this
Complaining
gives me,
about delays when we're stuck, when we're,
yeah.
so
Yeah, it's like
spoiled.
I try to look on the bright side, and I'm like, all right, at least like I'll get into some of these indie games. I'll get some finished some of the games that I've been working on for so long and haven't
Yeah, it's the
actually
year of the
finished.
backlog.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2022, year of the backlog. Go
yeah,
back, enjoy games.
yeah.
Buy Dying Light 2. Maybe this
I
is
was
the year
honestly
that we actually
considering
buy
even like
games.
buying Morrowind or something, like one of the really old Elder Scrolls games, just to get my.
It's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? So
Yeah,
I just gotta download it and actually like get it going and try it
Even
out again.
Skyrim, like special edition, is on there.
Yep.
I don't know. Is Oblivion on there? I don't know.
I think so.
Have you ever played Prey? Prey's good.
Yep. I want to finish playing that too. That's one of the games like I started playing and then was hearing about glitches and stuff. And I only got to play on the free weekend, so I didn't end up actually buying it. But now I get to play.
But yeah, it's on Game Pass now, right? All the Bethesda
Gotta
games.
try it.
So it's a barren year. I hope they can nail down some deals like Gotham Knights, and other like bigger titles, and maybe get titles like Dying Light 2. Like I feel like Dying Light 2 would be a great summer Game Pass release and just kind of bring up more hype for the game. There's some other titles on there. I forget the name of this one. I was watching a video of it. It's kind of like a Dark Souls like game, but it's based in like more of a Victorian era, and you play a robot, like but you have like the gray, like the white wig and all that. It looked really cool. We also have Deathloop coming in September, that came out on PlayStation last year. So that will be, so I guess we have one title, right? But
Yeah.
it's a re-release. Sorry, I'm not on my camera. But
That'll be nice to come out though. I've been looking forward to that because I saw like a few videos on it and it looks like a good game to play.
yeah, we'll probably get the best version of it too, right? So
Yep.
there is that. So I do look forward to playing Deathloop and maybe Forza, and hopefully we'll get Gotham Knights, and maybe there is a surprise. Like maybe Arcane, the people who made Generation Zero and Rage 2, maybe that Contraband game is closer than we think. I also heard that Obsidian, I think his name's, no, not David Gallagher. I forget the name of the actual person who's heading the team, but one of their more senior developers in Obsidian is coming out with more of a kind of like a side scroller, or more of a basic RPG, I hear, kind of in the vein of Disco Elysium, apparently.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get some insight on that. And also In Exile, the people who make Wasteland, and they're making a first-person shooter RPG sometime in the future, they also kind of hinted that they will be filling a gap in this year as well. So we could be getting some great things in this June showcase. So fingers crossed, but we will be talking predictions on that when Tony comes for our first week of June episode. Also, we got to talk predictions for Summer Game Fest, their big show. So I'll be looking more into that for sure. And I think that is coming sooner than we think as well. So I got to look into that a little further. But overall, 2022, at this point right now, halfway through May, not looking good. Not looking good. 2023 is looking crazy though.
Yeah, especially closer to like Christmas holidays and stuff. We're going to see something big at least. Hopefully something over the summer, but
hey, you never know. Maybe that maybe that Activision Blizzard deal closes and they can get Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Because if they can get Call of Duty for, especially this year's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, that's going to be huge. And if they can get that on Game Pass day one, oh man, people will be going out to buy Xbox just for that easily. They're like, oh, I can just buy the Xbox and get the free trial with it and play right away. So absolutely. But I don't want to dwell kind of on the disappointing news. I think we didn't see this coming, that's for sure. Redfall, I feel like we saw coming, but Starfield,
it's a disappointment.
I feel like
it's a disappointment for sure, but yeah, I think we're gonna see at least some good content. Be like it'll come out and we'll enjoy it. So might not be exactly what we were looking for, but it'll come.
It'll come, and it'll be on Game Pass, and that's always good. Yeah. But then again, like how can we complain about a game we're not even going to be paying for, really, right? So as long as it's good, that's what matters. And you don't really hear Bethesda delaying the game. I think the last one they delayed was... It's been a long time since they delayed their game. So if they weren't owned by Microsoft, I imagine it would be coming out this year.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah. So they are lucky they have Microsoft to back them and give them the extra time they need to make, possibly a game that could define this generation. You never know. It could be a truly, truly groundbreaking game. And would we want the glitches and the kind of awkwardness of their engine to get to overshadow the genius of the game, potentially? I would. That would bum me out.
It's their first space game and everything, and I think they want to get it right. They want to make sure that they're doing it just right, and I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be absolutely awesome. Because it's games like Star Citizen and everything. They put so much time and so much money and work and everything into it, and it's still not quite where I'm sure a lot of people would like it to be and everything. But they're continuing to come out with updates and stuff, and who knows?
Star Citizen, yeah, that game. There's some interesting videos up of that game right now. It's huge. That's another huge game. I could never understand. It's like one of those games like EVE Online or like in the vein of that, where it's just like I will observe it from a distance, but I could never get into it. Okay, well, like I said, I don't want to kind of dwell on the upsetting 2022. Maybe it's not going to be that upsetting. Maybe in June we will. Yeah, we'll get our socks blown off. So fingers crossed. Yeah. But this has been episode 50. I can't believe, and here's to 50 more. Here's to 100 more. Here's to many, many more. So, and again, thank you for everyone who watches and gets to this point. I'm just incredibly honored for anyone who does listen and for sticking with us. And anyone who is listening to this for the first time, thank you for just even clicking on the video or the podcast itself and just giving us a shot. So, and yeah, here's to many, many more. Yeah, I'm definitely... I couldn't, I can't even believe we've made it to 50. So, that's like, not like everyone says that, right? Can't believe we did it. But, we stuck it out, and I feel like this is just second nature to us now. So, I'm glad we're continuing, and it makes me feel good.
Heck yeah.
All right, Dan, take us home.
So don't forget to smack that subscribe button on our YouTube page and tippity tap that like button. You can comment on our beautiful voices and our complaints about Starfield and Redfall. And you can find us on audio only and on Spotify and Google Podcast. Just search relentlessly for Xbox North Podcast. We're also on Reddit and Instagram. Take a look for Xbox North Podcast. And for Twitter, @NorthXbox. So why would we make it easy for you?
Exactly. And don't forget to go out and vote. Go out and vote.
If you're up here in Canada,
you're in
and everything,
Canada.
you got to get out there.
Yeah. Oh, even in the States, this is a huge year for them. Go out and vote, man. All right.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Toodaloo.